What up, my freaks? Ruinous Insight here with part 24 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Grimgor Ironhide campaign. So as we saw last time, Oglok the Boreable's armored pigs continue turning Norska into a new pig pen, rather than a mammoth, I don't know what you do with mammoths, but mammoth thing. And quite effectively, I might add. The Blessed Dread appear to be pretty much broken with 3 settlements remaining, and this may be their last army, and it ain't much of one either. Otherwise, we are poised to attack DURTHU right here at the Circle of Eternal Moonlight, not the Waterfall Palace yet, but we'll get there fairly soon as well, and I'm excited to see Grimgor face off against DURTHU in particular, as, well, DURTHU is a very scary lord. He has very solid stats without buffs, and he has quite a bit more HP, 1.5 times as much HP as Grimgor does. So we have to wonder whether the damage that DURTHU can deal will be sufficient to overcome the damage that Grimgor can deal when DURTHU has all that extra HP on him. Plus the support of Ariel as well. And a fairly interesting army, which we'll get to in a second. Before we get started, though, a little bit of unfortunate news with the viewership and the engagement dropping in this campaign. This will in fact be the very last episode on this particular channel, as in from now on this campaign will be moved to the second channel, the Ruinous Archive, and if you have missed all those announcements about that thing, I'll leave a link to it down in either the, well, it's already in the description, but in the comments below. Obviously there's still a lot to do, and frankly I'm still having a lot of fun with the orcs and a few armies I still want to try out, so there's quite a bit still to play through, but I'm not willing to hurt the channel with the algorithm over that, and that's why the second channel now exists. Anyway, let's get going, shall we? Grimgor, we're going to head you directly to DURTHU. And the interesting aspect of this is this. DURTHU has built a massive pile of Glade Riders and Sisters of the Thorn here, and between the 2 armies here and those sisters in the actual Glade, it's nearly a full stack of missile cavalry. Obviously, there's no way that Grimgor's army can catch any of those, so if we were to take them in the field, we would be fighting them for basically the entire, or ignoring them for the entire time, because there's no way we would catch them. There is, however, this. Grom the Paunch is nearby, so we're going to have him reinforce. We're going to pop Lobigans on you, Grimgor, and we're going to head into the Glade of Eternal Moonlight, like so. Pyrrhic victory, but once again it'll be the Glade Riders that'll be the problem. I'm sure Grimgor can win it, but we can make it a little bit easier on us by having a few fast movers to run down those enemy fast movers. Alright, you go in right here, Rogue Idol Fairy. I guess if we sack the Glade of Eternal Midnight, you can occupy it. Yeah, we'll do that, and then Grimgor can continue to move, because this barely ate up any of his movement. And also possibly go after this army to completely destroy it so we don't have to deal with it after, but anyway, I believe that's all we gotta do, other than leveling, so let's level up real quick and head ourselves into the battle. Crack some heads, I believe we were going through, so let's continue on through it. We are starting to run out of points on you, sir, and I would like to get Bring It Down and Leading from the Front and Devastating Charge as well, which is 6 points. We don't really need thick-skinned on the Black Orc big bosses, because frankly they already have a lot of armor. And to be honest, we don't really need Crack Some Heads either, because the aura leadership isn't doing much for Black Orcs. They're already pretty leadershipy. Regardless, let's see what we've got here. You, sir. Grotzlik, our legendary shaman, you are going to try to continue heading towards Green Blood. It doesn't really do too much for this army, but hey, we do have those Rogue Idols and those Savage Giants, so still a buff. Mildra Squid Fiddler. Oh, you know what? I can never remember your name, and somebody suggested a really good one, so you're going to be the Lady of the... Okay, Swamp is definitely not going to fit here. Swamp. Like so. Alright. Fantastic. Wait, that didn't... Huh? Hello? Wait. The Lady of 2 spaces. Oh, good job, Ruinous. No need to be a space there. There we go. You're gonna be the Lady of the Swamp now, which makes sense considering Grimgor is the one true git and that he started on Albion. We should also probably level you while we're at it. Get your heart to hit first, because frankly the melee defense on the River Troll Hags is quite low. Grom, how many hit points do you have for leveling? A couple. We have Sapton's Scrap already, which was the main one. I am definitely tempted by Furious Wa and possibly even adorned by Teeth here. But for now, we'll probably want to level up the Arachnaroks. If we're keeping the Forest Goblins as well, the Gobos would buff them fairly considerably. And more likely than not, we'd keep them. The big lads, frankly, isn't a crazy buff for the Arachnaroks. The Arachnaroks are already quite strong. And are the chariots here? No, the wolf chariots are from Artisan Ales, not riders, right? Yeah, okay, that's at least good. Alright, fine, let's do a little bit of leveling for the poor little Gobbo units. I know there's only 3 of them, but nonetheless, I think it's worth our time. Wait, what was coming back again? Oh, wait. Enemy leadership reduction for elven units. I guess this would work here, but we're not going to encounter much more elves afterwards, so just get the Gobbos. And, oh, get the Gobbos again. You got 2 points after all. There we go. These little guys will continue, you know, following their Arachnaroks into battle. The biggest tip for you, and get your Bone Dagger and Trickster all the way to Shroomsen soon as we can. You, sir, are our Shaman here, and we have Itchy Nuisance and Gorkle Fix-It maxed out. Let's get scouting, sneaky stabbing, sneaky stealing, though frankly I don't particularly care about it. And, oh, we could have actually gotten the Curse of the Bad Moon. You know what? Evasion. Let's get the Curse of the Bad Moon. We haven't had the opportunity to use it a lot throughout this campaign, in fact, not at all. And it's a nice damaging spell. Probably not going to be as effective as the... okay, we don't need to level you. Probably not going to be as effective as... the Foot of Gork, or possibly Mork. But it does have a pretty horrendous contact effect, as I recall, the Curse of the Bad Moon. It is a curse, after all, not only a damaging vortex. Anyway, Pyrrhic victory still, despite the presence of Grom. We'll see about that. Away we go. Alright, I thought I heard some kind of orcish grunt from Grimgor, but it also might have been from one of the other units instead. Kinda hard to say. Grimgor seems to be, once again, quite quiet, and will probably be continuing to be such until the end of the campaign. Anyway, DURTHU and Ariel stand against us, and we will see what we can do about them. We've got twice as much HP on DURTHU, but he's also a pretty darn big target, and whereas Ariel has regeneration and probably pretty good defenses, 20 ward save and regeneration on 8k HP, and not too bad, and a bunch of various types of abilities. With that, gotta watch out for that Dwellers Below, though I doubt that the AI will land it very well, even if it tries, so we shall see. Anyway, as usual, the battle for this oak begins, or this particular Woodolf area begins with us charging forth with our Black Orcs. Ariel starts facing off against Grimgor and immediately loses about half her HP, but calls some Treekin to aid, which immediately block Grimgor, preventing him from attacking her. Now, the other Black Orcs are streaming in as well, trying to head towards the enemy barricades, where another unit of Treekin and some Imperial Pikes, which actually look pretty darn decent in those green colors, are heading them off and blocking us from getting to that barricade. DURTHU is on the way as well, marching forward, trying to take out a Black Orc of the Merry Krumpas, but I think we'll switch Grimgor to fighting DURTHU instead of Ariel, and leave one of the others to fight Ariel instead, since we already saw Grimgor take about half of her HP with great ease. Ooh, that is a lovely looking effect, though, that magical dart, and it looks like it might have exploded a few of the Black Orcs, and oh my. That's unfortunate, all that armor. And just like that, you're off the field. But what can you do? It is aerial, of course. We also have our reinforcements arriving on the field. Grom DePonch. Man, I can't believe I already used the Grim and DeGrom as as an episode title, but whatever. Whatever. Damn you, Pastor Ruinous. Anyway, these guys are going to move in and help out against all of those massive piles of Glade Riders, but Grimgor's force will continue the regular old-fashioned way through this particular territory. I do wish that there was a little bit more variety in the Wood Elf territories, and they should have at least had two different locations of this. I don't think it would have been that hard to add two maps of this type, rather than just the one. But anyway, DURTHU is, by the looks of it, in pretty bad shape, already having lost half his HP and have not yet hurt Grimgor at all. Now granted, he probably took a few swings at some of Grimgor's Black Orcs nearby, and maybe he thought that that would be a better idea than Grimgor, but Grimgor's got a big old axe and DURTHU has trauma from the wounds he suffered from dwarfen axes, and I feel like maybe he should try a little bit more focus on Gitsnik. Anyway, with that, DURTHU is broken. He turns to run, and Grimgor will give chase, though of course he probably won't be able to catch him, and we'll just head him off or and chase him down until he's off the field. I do believe that Ariel is still on the field, though she's down to about 20% HP, so we're looking pretty okay there. There we go, nice, very nice stomp from the middle end here, as some units of Eternal Guard together with Dryads continue to try to move in to reinforce Ariel. But she's in a pretty bad position. Lovely belly flop down on all of those enemies, and we continue trying to break through. More giants and rogue idols have finally broken down the barricade and will be streaming into the settlement shortly, while Grom, together with all his fast movers, has arrived on the field as well. Charging forth towards those enemy Glade Riders, leave them nowhere to escape, and bring every single one down so that we don't have to slowly chase them with those Black Orcs. Of course, we do have enemy Eternal Guard and Dryads, and apparently more pikes in the way, but we're gonna have to just charge right through them to get to those Glade Riders. And Sisters of the Thorn. The Sisters of the Thorn obviously being much, much more threatening to us than the Glade Riders would be. These are pump wagons. I do believe Grom is in here somewhere as well, and we do have to be careful as all of our units are taking damage from enemy range from pretty much every direction. And the pump wagons are extremely effective, but they are also extremely vulnerable to range missile fire, so you gotta be careful there. Now we have split Grom's force somewhat in two. A few are helping here, namely the various Forest Gabos, and we've sent 4 of our units of the Great Axe-wielding Black Orcs and 2 of our Ragnarok Spiders this way as well. Going to have the Forest Gabos fighting the enemy Dryads and other enemy Eternal Guard here. And get our first cast of the Bad Moon, the Curse of the Bad Moon, up and running. It's a pretty fun looking spell. Though it is of course a moving vortex, but on the bright side, unlike most moving vortexes, even if this is bad luck and the Bad Moon moves away from the enemy, it does still reach them with that contact effect, that nasty curse, which is pretty damn nasty, go figure. And on top of that, the Bad Moon does not hurt your allied units, it does not hurt you, so it only hurts the enemy, so we're just fine. Anyway, massive piles of Forest Gabos are defending against those Dryads and doing pretty well, I might add. I mean, they got 62 melee attack with lethal poison and 65 armor, and 103 leadership. Almost twice as much of that of trolls. And yes, I'm still throwing shade at those trolls for routing. But oh well. The Black Orcs, of course, have a much easier time working through those Dryads, and here come those Arachnaroks to help out the Forest Gabos. We can leave the Black Orcs to deal with the other units. Otherwise, Grimgor is making his way further into the enemy settlement. I believe Ariel went down somewhere, while Grom and his fast movers are still trying to rush around and either prevent the enemy from firing or just outright kill all of those Glade Riders and Sisters of the Thorn. And Grotzlik's signature move, the Foot of Gork or possibly more, comes down on a pile of enemy crossbows, great swords, and I believe there were some Elven units in there. And I'm sure it did just fine, followed up by an headbutt and I guess a little bit of melee action, as the Git Stomper will have to stomp some Gits with his physical feet, and not the ethereal feet of his magically summoned god avatar. Alright, here comes Grimgor's force though. The Black Orcs, the Giants, the Rogue Idols now no longer blocked by anything else, and I'm sure Grimgor is somewhere in here as well. But it's getting a little bit difficult to spot. Nice pop of, I think that was Brain Boost, I couldn't quite see, but, well, it was a nice effect, and 248 kills, 249, 250 now, and nearly 50k damage on Grotzlik. Love watching that kill count go up for a mage out of melee attacks, as we don't get it a lot. Otherwise, it looks like a DURTHU will have, well, he failed a long time ago, by virtue of getting beat up by Grimgor, but here his defenses are failing as well. He did, it seems, prepare, possibly on purpose, quite well with all of these massive piles of Glade Riders against Grimgor's slow army. I do believe that the AI is programmed to try to counteract the units that the player is building. But unfortunately with Grom nearby, this just didn't work, and I don't think that DURTHU's faction will be able to recover well enough to continue capitalizing on all that skirmisher cav, as in on the ability to build it. More of our units are arriving and hitting the enemy from every single direction now, leaving the elves, whether they be missile cavalry or missile infantry, nowhere to run. Just a matter of surrounding them, destroying them, and running them down, as the rest of them have shattered, and the battle is ours. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. We're going to chase down at least a couple of the units, whichever ones we can reach, mostly because there was that army that was outside the settlement. There's no way, unfortunately, to know which of the units was belonging to that army, but hey, and got what we could before they ran off the field. Alright, very nice indeed. 24k money from post-battle loot. Pretty darn crazy for that. And, I mean, we did get both Ariel and DURTHU, so I guess that does make sense, though DURTHU stood little to no chance against a Grimgor one-on-one. We got 28k damage on Grimgor himself. Ooh, we got 100 kills and 96 kills on Dwayne and the Middelin. Both did pretty well there. 15k and 157 kills on the Axes of the Dark and the Batswadas, 154 as well. Those did the best out of Grimgor's army. Some of the little forest gobos did pretty good as well. 17k damage and 138 kills, though a little bit of this was from running enemies down. And one of our spiders also got hurt. It did plenty of damage, but it did get hurt, so rude. Tremendously rude. Hey, 10k damage on Dazumas. One of the Goblin Wolf Chariots actually did fairly decently, and in fact, I think this is the first time I've seen the Goblin Wolf Chariots do more damage than the Pump Wagons. Gotta say, I'm impressed with that, if nothing else. We are going to sack the place for another 36k. Wow, 60k gold just from this, essentially. And this army will move away. But will Grimgor be able to? No, Grimgor will not be able to reach it. Hey, I was looking at stuff. What do we have here? Hero recruit rank +4, not bad. Hero action cost, gross. Hero action success chance, well, that would prevent Gabladna the failure from failing as much. 10% ain't bad. I do like the recruit rank, but how many more heroes are we really going to recruit for armies at this point? We have most of the armies that we're going to be getting on with for the rest of the campaign, and we're probably never going to do ambushes again. I'm inclined to say go with a hero action success chance for a little bit more of that tech thievery to try to complete all of the tech tree by the end of the campaign. If this was the early game, hero recruit rank +4 is far, far superior. But once again, we're running out of the need for heroes straight up, so just go for quiet. Go for it. Honestly, none of those are all of that big of a deal. Defeated DURTHU is kind of a mad trait, because it basically only buffs your capabilities against wood elves, but what can you do? Got a free backstab, a bound spell blast, and yeah, just to double check, you can't go after this guy, can you? No, wait, what about you? Could you perhaps go after him? No, the Etheloran stuff is causing problems with that. Oh well, what can you do? Then we're gonna have you occupy the Glade of Eternal Moonlight. Like so. And... huh? Why did I go to tier 1? That's weird. It should have been a tier 2 because we have the ability to take stuff with... okay, well, whatever. I guess it doesn't really matter. It should have stayed at tier 2 instead of going down. Because orcs can take settlements at a higher level. Whatever. Idols for you. It's not like we really care, but just an interesting thing. Give it here. And Grimgor, I guess you're not going... I guess you're not going to be the one chasing this guy down because you can't reach... oh, wait, now you can. Oh, it probably had to do with the settlement not having been captured. Well, go destroy that real quick. It'll take all your movement, but you can simply underway stance either down to the Waterfall Palace or down to the other place. And then we'll be happy. Happier. Alrighty, we are going to take the, I don't know, control +5 for all provinces for you. You're going to go into raiding stance. But not cross the river. Unfortunately, Grom can't raid, but he's healing up pretty nicely anyway, so I'm reasonably happy with all that. And oh, would you look at that? Grimgor getting closer and closer to the final level of fightiness. Will we be able to reach it before the campaign ends? Find out next time. No, not yet. Episode ain't quite over yet. Spite Blood Reaper, you were next on the agenda, and you did want to attack Summersfall Fort. And, oh right, I was trying to figure out what to do exactly with the Vicious the Despicable. Well, Vicious, you know what? Just go here into Turin, and if you get attacked, you get attacked. The boys are restless. Hopefully here you're far enough away from most enemies, and the raiding camp will keep your little army alive. And if it doesn't, frankly, I was going to delete it, so we'll see if you get attacked. Spite, you are probably about to strike, but let's see who, if anyone, needs to move. Nobber, we're gonna have you besiege Blood Keep. And you can sit there. They might sally out, they might not, but you can heal up while besieging. And frankly, I'd prefer them to sally out, but their army ain't that great. On the other hand, our army is hurt, so maybe, depending on how cowardly the AI is feeling today. Which is obviously better in SFO than it was in vanilla. Gorkil Gutstabber, you're supposed to go to Salzenmund, and I think that does not change, so... WAAAGH begins for you. Oh, your Feral Hydra probably won't allow this to happen. Sadly, the Feral Hydra has been something of a liability in this army. Yeah, we'd be able to auto-resolve this if it wasn't for the Hydra. How much do you heal while... we could allow Boris Toddbringer to recruit, but it wouldn't allow us to heal our army, or we could just go into doing this manually as well. But of course the siege is not working, but at least that way we'd be able to keep the Hydra alive, even if it ain't a consequential battle. Either way, we'll keep you sieging for now until I figure that one out. But we have other things to do. Varag Legbiter is now on the field with our Squig host. And, let's get a few of those Squig names in there. Oh, I started typing, but I clicked the wrong thing. That wasn't the rename button. That's the rename button. Good job, Ruinous. Roly Holy for you. Alright, we got... oh, right, we got more Colossal Squigs in the other army as well. And the Squiggin, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Mike Wazowski. And lastly... damn it. And lastly, Meatball. There we go. Alright, and I guess I'll name one of you regular killer tomatoes. Yes. Alright, nice. And you know what? While we're here, while we're naming stuff, we've got a bunch of range units now, and I believe we were gonna name a few of these error boys of various kinds. So, let's go for Savage Shooters. Like so. And Splinter Spitters. Spitters? Yeah, Spitters. Gotta go with Spitters. And how about the Green Errors? Makes sense. The Far Stabbers. Actually, these guys could be close stabbers as well, because the Savage Orc Error boys are, well, it's like decent in melee combat, at least against certain things. I mean, they wouldn't lose to a peasant mob, let's say that. A Wa from... one more. Wa from afar? I should have gone with that one or whatever. Should have modified it this very slightly to be Wa from afar, like the ending of Wa. Error Storms. I didn't do that yet, did I? Splinter Spitters, the Green Arrows, the Fire Stabbers, Savage Shooters, Error Storms, Well from Afar. And oh, I could have sworn I named one of these the Angry Errors. Did I not? I was gonna. Huh. Or did I accidentally rename one without noticing? But the Savage Orc boys seem like more Angry Errors to me. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. Orc Error boys. And one of the others will be the Angry Airs, and that, I believe, is good. Anyway, while I'm getting distracted, let's get back to whatever it was we were doing. You, sir, Legbiter, go grab that mysterious... oh, wow, you're moving quick. And Farsight, I guess, because it'll be a while before you reach enemy shores, and Trunk of Maps and Charmed Shield. You can go into March Stance, and I think we'll leave the Shipwreck for... I don't know, maybe this army. Because we're gonna send this army at sea to grab stuff anyway. We don't necessarily need to. Although this is really close. And fine, maybe we'll grab this one. And is it not the R key that makes things move not as quickly? Yeah, there we go. Alright, I don't know when I hit that, but it was very confusing, is what I'm getting at. Anyway, Snorko, you're going to be recruiting for a while, and I do believe that's it, so let's have a nice little quick assault of the enemy city here at Summers Fall Fort, every time. Hack, I believe you were going to get a level up, so let's get you Trickster all the way to Shroomsden as soon as we can, otherwise we're ready to go. Alright, decisive victory, low casualties. I think we should be able to do this fairly decently easily, but nonetheless, we're gonna fight this. Obviously, since sieges don't work in the Orc campaign, we'll have to do this manually. I wonder why it works for the Beastmen and not the Orcs or the Vampire Coast. It's curious. Of course, it once again could just be the different versions of the mod doing this rather than the factions having to do something with it. On the other hand, though, I do recall that for the Bretonnians, during the Bretonnian campaign, whenever you used the knights and made them go into a foot knight mode, into melee infantry mode, rather than what they normally are, that was the time when sieges did not work, and in fact battle replays in general did not work, so could be something to do with that as well. Anyway, you guys don't need to be in towers. I appreciate it though, but no need. I can just set these towers up here, drop the siege equipment to you. We can actually just break down the walls if we really wanted to. I'm sure it'll be fine. All of you will go up here. And wait, can we use one of you to push the... I don't think so. And River Trollhag probably can't push the thing either. Alright, fine. The Warlords, boys, you can head directly towards that gatehouse as soon as we're ready for you. We don't necessarily have to do it immediately. Frankly, we could probably send the WAAAGH units up there first instead of the towered up units. I'll think about it. not what I would call a priority, let's say. And oh, we also need to set you guys up so that you don't all destroy our own towers with our own artillery, let's say. Alright, I think that is about it. Set up the arrow boys and start battle. Alright, this tower can't hit us from here, can it? They don't have any range, so it's not like we're super concerned. And you guys aren't firing at anything, really? You can't fire at this graveyard right here. Or is it doing that thing where they have to be told? Nah, they just have to be told. Or they have to change their angles slightly, but nah, they can fire. They just didn't want to. How rude. Alright, well, we can send the ram forth to start dealing with that nonsense, and I guess the trolls can move forward as well. And I guess all of you can move forward as well. Frankly, range units, so you guys can all go right here and right here. What does the enemy have in the way of flyers, incidentally? They have, oh, a Terrorgeist and a couple of Vargeists. Alright, that will be dangerous to our own flyers and probably a decent amount of our own range units, so we'll have to watch out for that. Otherwise, let's speed this up while the WAAAGH gets onto the field. Alright, and we're nearly there. And, okay, you guys just get out of the way so that the ram can actually go to where it's supposed to go. Alright, air boys, do your thing, please. You're not going to be all that threatening to the enemy here, but hey, you'll use a little bit of that ammo up. Would ya? Alright, the boys have arrived on the field. Let's get you moving on in. Same with the gobos, and same with the additional air boys. Like so, and oh wow, we get a lot of air boys out of this WAAAGH. Not bad. Against a faction that has no air boys whatsoever, or no range units whatsoever. Alright, ram has broken through, but we can wait a little bit while the WAAAGH arrives. And maybe I should have auto-resolved this, but well, whatever. And zombies. Wow, it's taking these guys a long time to bring down a single unit of zombies, but it is greenskin range, so you can't expect all that much from it. Even though gobos are supposed to have decent accuracy. If nothing else, the absolutely massive arrow rain is pretty neat looking. I also really like this faction's color scheme. It's pretty nice. Works well with that corroded armor of the Graveguard. Plenty of arrows. And oh, you know what? The rusty arrows, I believe you guys have magical arrows, so you can actually hurt the Cairn Wraiths, unlike, you know, pretty much everybody else. Try to move forward. We're almost ready to start moving into the enemy settlement as well. And look at all those flyers hanging around. I bet they're gonna be ready to drop down on us soon. And that'll give us a proper fight. Okay, you fire on those Cairn Wraiths, please. If you can, if you please, etc. Oh, are they gonna try to sally out? No, they're not. Kind of just hanging around there. Alright, here come the boys. We don't even need to send you guys up the walls, do we? There isn't really much need. Alright, let's start with sending some regular orc boys in. And just to take some hits from the enemy. And then we'll follow up with our elites, obviously. There we go. That poor unit of Cairn Wraiths now taking damage. But they are the biggest threat on the field, so we are going to absolutely take advantage of this. Also speed this up a little bit more, and air boys, or Durusty errors. There we go. Alright. We'll still have to take care of another one of those. Ooh, and is that a unit of Blood Knights running around? No, it's a Black Knight unit. I swear this army rather had Blood Knights in here as well. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. Alrighty, you guys all get ready to go in, trolls and non-trolls alike. Get ready. And more orc boys stream into the city while we maintain range superiority, as weird as that seems for orcs. Alright, happy with that. Where's that other unit of Cairn Wraiths? Ooh, would you look at that? Orc boys getting decimated by a summon of zombies and a Vargulf, and we can watch our units swarm the Vargulf. Oh, the arrows and the rock lobbers probably ain't helping matters, though. As in, our own units are probably hurting. Alright, attack this, and you, sir. Buff everybody up. You probably don't need the fermented fungi, but we can go for smash them fast. Where are those flyers? They're still out there. They'll join the field, I'm sure, relatively soon. And let's get more orc boys in here. That's the... wait. Goblin archers, the warlords boys. Nah, I'd rather preserve their HP. Okay, you're not in here yet. I'll probably start sending some other Gabos in here. Alright, that Vargulf is getting absolutely swarmed and ripped apart by our stone trolls. The ringers of this particular Gabo army, although we're taking a few hits from the various arrows of our own. That's fine. Down goes Big Boy. Let's switch to the Crypt Horrors and keep sending Y units, whose lives or deaths we just don't care about. All in the name of a good scrap. But at least this way we get to see a few shots of our units fighting, so I'm happy with that. Alright, get a few more hits in there, and those Crypt Horrors, incredibly effective unit though they are, will be down for the count shortly. And we'll begin to shatter. Black Knights, you're up next, and Flyers still haven't made it in. And there was a Blood Knight unit in here, right? Yeah, they're there. They just don't want to play yet. I'm sure they'll find their fortitude and get on in here soon enough. Our Gabos are running out of arrows, but that's fine. Maybe move a few of our other arrow units closer. Maybe I should have taken the walls just to have arrow units up there, but whatever. And let's go for those Graveguard here. Wait for those Blood Knights to arrive. Just gotta be careful with our elites. Haven't really cast anything yet, but might as well do so now. Fate of Biyuna on the Blood Knights. And as soon as they charge in, we can Soul Blight them as well. Yeah, let's give them a nice Spirit Leech as well. Double up on that damage. Alright, Blood Knights, come on, charge. I'd like to see you work. While we break through the rest of these zombies. And Graveguard. Now this may be the Gabo army, but hey, we won't have the Y in this army forever, so I think we may as well use those units. Plus with all the range that we have in this army, we're very much likely to hurt our own units pretty darn badly. So why risk damaging them too much? Alright, how are those Blood Knights looking? Still have the Fate of Biyuna on them. Let's activate that big Wa, and now it's time for a Soul Blight on all of you. Maybe I should have actually saved it for the Flyers, but too late. And switch to another Life Leech, Spirit Leech rather, on the Blood Knights, and all of you elites now start going after said Blood Knights. Alright, lots of effects coming in, and we don't have a Helmet Discord on you, do we? No, we don't. But at the same time, we don't really need it. It's a bloody little front line, but it is working for us, so can't complain. Alright, the Blood Knights are basically out. There's another unit of Graveguard moving in, and well, an enemy Necromancer and an enemy Vampire. Soon ready to be attacked. The Fate of Biyuna still working for a little bit longer, and the Blood Knights, tier 5 or not, are getting ripped apart. Let's try to go after that Vampire now. Prevent them from casting a little bit. Spite Blood Reaper jumping around on that cave squig of his. Too bad you can't have cave squigs as a separate unit, like not like a squig herd, but like similar to a squig herd, but with fewer units, but the bigger and more elite squig, effectively. Alright, is the vampire already dead? I looked away for like 3 seconds. Alright, well. Keep making our way through. Ooh, an enemy necromancer. Alright, ignore all this and let's have the elite mob here charge on through while we go after that necro. Hey. His little apprentice necromancer just running away. Alright, well head on in. Here come the squigs and the spiders, and hey, get back here. Don't you run. Chase him down. Let's poison him. Don't let him escape. Looks like he doesn't want to get into combat. Do we have Mither on you? No, we don't. I wanted the slow down effect of it, but yeah, looks like that Necromancer is going to keep on running. There's a lot of Graveguard back there that aren't participating. And still the enemy doesn't want to send those flyers in. What the heck? Alright, let's... I wish I could put on some yakety sax for this, but there we go. Down goes the Necro while his apprentice ran, and the elites are finally in it. Probably not to win it, though. And ooh, nice Terrorgeist Breath down on one of the units of poor Gabos, getting absolute direct. Terrorgeist Shriek coming in as well, and Terrorgeist, you gonna land on us? Come on, come down. Have some fun. Alright, on to the Terrorgeist, then we'll pop the Soul Blade on everything here, and ooh, look at that fear. All of our basic units are routing, which means I think we're ready to move. Gabos, you know what, just head up the walls, I don't care enough not to. And then other units that are in here, come and join the fun. Alright, and let's pop a Fate of Buna on the Vargeists. I think it's not the most ideal use of this, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I don't really think anybody's really under threat here anyway. There we go. We could pop Doom and Darkness, but that's also going to be useless. They need Stabbing, only works on heroes. Probably should have wasted, or used that rather, on the enemy lord, but anyway. Oh, the effect of that fermented fungi is nice. Alright, lots of effects coming in. We've still got the WAAAGH units fighting an A. Would you look at that? Cairn Raid's blocking off the exit, but our elite squad is completely fine for now. The Terrorgeist goes down. Now we switch to the Vargeists and hopefully destroy them relatively soon. Especially with the fermented fungi on them and stuff. Their melee defense is 0 to 10. Barely existent. Alright. Turned out to be a nice little battle, if relatively easy, and at the same time with no casualties on our gobos. But to be fair, we're playing orcs and we haven't really been relying on WAAAGHs at all, despite being, I would say, probably a pretty darn defining characteristic or trait of the factions. But they're just not necessary. Alright, Skeleton Spears, ignore those. Go for the Graveguard. And are some of you guys back yet? Yeah, you're back. Go kill some zombies or skeleton warriors. It ain't all you're good for, but, well, you're not good for too much more. The Rusty Errors. Oh, you're out of errors. I was hoping to send you up against those Cairn Wraiths, but alas. Alright, you guys keep working through those Graveguard. We get another Spirit Leech, but I'm not sure who to put it on. Oh, it doesn't matter. Battle's over. Enemy will begin to crumble away. Oh, there was a black coach here. Oh, whoa. Surround and kill the black coach. I did not realize that was in there. Spirit Leech of that. And, well, they're all running, so the Doom and Darkness isn't gonna help. Alright, now speed it up. Oh, don't tell me we're gonna have to chase after that Necro. Necro. Get back here. Alright, let's try to chase after him. He's not gonna crumble away until we close the distance, but fortunately, spite on that cave squig, both the little spider guys move quite quickly. Pop that big WAAAGH just to speed it up a teensy bit. And there we go. I guess we can watch the Necromancer Apprentice, who ran away, abandoning his master, and die. Although, I kind of expect that from Necromancers. Seems to be on theme, so, yeah. He's taking a few nice hits, though. There we go. Easy enough. Alrighty, 77 losses from the main army, and frankly, even the WAAAGH losses weren't all that big of a deal. Our elites did well, our gobos survived, so if we have to fight Aranessa or the Ramateb dynasty to the south, it won't be all that concerning. Man, come on now. And there's probably no need to sack the place. We're just going to occupy it. We have plenty of cash to be getting on with. Honestly, we could go really, really negative if we really, really wanted to. And yeah, 50k to sack this, but whatever. Occupy it. And Giant Wolf for the Scarsnake Finder. How the heck did that happen? Oh, I guess the Scarsnake Finder... Ooh, yes, there's a Sacred Spider Grands here. We did want one of those, but we'll wait to upgrade it until and give it ears up and running just to speed it up by 40%. We need more Ragnarok capacity. Not sure I care about the Black Orc capacity, however, so we're going to delete that. Mostly because we don't need more piles of Black Orcs at this stage in the game. Anyway, with that, we are out of time, and I am going to call this episode here. Next time, well, since we basically destroyed the Ghost of Glan Boreal, we will head southward towards the Ramateb dynasty and the undead of the Pirates of Sartosa. Maybe start moving towards Vlad, depending on how long it still takes to destroy the rest of the Wood Elves. So I'm pretty sure Argwalon has no armies remaining, so they're done. Of course, we'll continue our way through Norska, all on the second channel, so I'll look for the rest of the campaign there. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below nonetheless, as that will determine whether this campaign is posted every day, every other day, etc, etc, etc. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.